So this is Darcy's Corner. It's July 4th. It's 2022, and this might get. I'm probably gonna get angry when I talk about this, and I might cut this off. I try to keep them to 10 minutes or less because people have short attention spans. Plus, who wants to listen to me ramble for longer than that? Anyway, if you were raised in the 60s or 70s, or if you happen to be raised even in the 80s and 90s, before the internet, you could be forgiven a little bit for having views that were skewed by your environment. So, homophobia was a big thing for a very long time. Same with racism and bigotry. I realize those things are still things today, but they're issues that much more of society is aware of today. There's a reason they call it woke, because suddenly people realize, oh wait, it's wrong to be racist. And things that you didn't think were racist in the 50s or 60s or in the 80s and 90s, they're racist. I can remember a few turns of phrases that my grandparents would use that I won't repeat now, but they involve the N word and other things. And like they didn't even realize that they were being racist in the moment. Well, in use the N word they were, but there were other times where they would say things or do things. Not just them, my parents and me. Sure, I would say the things or do the things because I didn't realize that bigotry was what it was. Um, and even today, I still trip and say things I shouldn't sometimes. But we're much more aware as a society now as to what's wrong, and homophobia is not acceptable anymore. Um, but that wasn't always true. Anyway, so I was raised in a homophobic environment. And some people think, well, I'm blaming my parents for how I was raised. Blaming, giving credit to, they raised me. And I was raised in a homophobic home. I was raised in a slightly racist home. Whether they meant to be that way or not, they were. It doesn't mean they didn't love me. Of course they loved me. But there were some fundamental things that they taught me that were wrong. But there was lots of people raised in homes like that where they were taught those things and they were wrong. And now, today, they have to live with the consequences of that. In my case, it means I get to try go through puberty again. I mean, I've gone through it now again at 40. I'm 42 now, almost 43. Yeah, I'm mad about that. Of course I'm mad about that. That doesn't mean that I exclusively go, well, my parents were terrible people. They did the best they could with what they had and what they thought was right. So I'll give them credit for that. But it still hurt me. It still screwed me up. It still left me, marriage number 2 going down the crapper. And I'm really unhappy about that because it's not like I don't love my wife. I do. And, oh, do I wish that I could have made that work better. I mean, I tried so hard to be the man that I'm not and to be content with that. And you don't know what dysphoria is unless you've been through it. I've had my entire lifetime robbed from me. I could have been a woman this whole time. I could have been me this whole time. And instead, I get to be this thing you see now. Now, I'm the best version of me that I can be at the moment. And I am very disappointed in my results. I mean, sometimes I'm happy with my progress, but I would have been much, much happier if this had been my progress when I was 22 or 23 and I had longer to go. I might still pull through and get the surgery for the voice and get the surgery for the face. And then finally I'll look and sound like I'm supposed to. Imagine you finally get to be a woman at 45. Unless y'all been through this, you don't know what this is like. Of course, I'm mad about that. But what makes me madder is not the chances that I didn't get as a kid. What makes me madder is that today we have a knowledge of what this is. The public has been educated or can be educated, and we are intentionally doing this to people. We are deliberately stealing decades of their lives. That's what makes me mad now. I'm not mad that the people in the 80s and the 90s didn't know any better as a society. I'm mad that in 2022 people are taking away all the ground we've gained. They want to keep people like me in the closet, and if we kill ourselves, that's fine. I haven't really had a family member say don't do it. I didn't know this was going to make me suicidal until it did. And that didn't happen until I was almost 40. And I have people who supposedly care about me telling me that I'm sad and pathetic for being mad about that. So what you're saying is, the next time I get sad, I should follow those impulses. That's what I'm hearing. I didn't know that suppressing this was going to hurt me as much as it did. But it really did. And it's still hurting me now. I'm not sad today. I'm mad about lots of things, but I'm not sad about my existence today. But that's today. Tomorrow, I could wake up and all the heaviness of what I'm going through could come down on me. And I could decide it's not worth it. So telling me stupid things, like how come you're mad, how come you're sad, don't you know what a great life you have? You don't know what life I have. You don't know what it's like. Unless you're trans and you've gone through this, then you do know what it's like as an adult. Don't lecture trans people on why aren't they grateful for the heterosexual life you gave them. You have no idea Anyway, this is Darcy's Corner. It's been 10 minutes. This is a tough thing to get through. And it's much tougher as an adult. The best time to embrace the puberty that you should go through is during puberty. As a child, that's the best time to embrace this. And as an adult, the best time to embrace this, your 20s. If you were to pick a time frame, what all I've seen and heard, your 20s is your best shot. After that, you're just rolling the dice. And you do the best you can. Anyway, I'm going to cut this short. It's longer than 10 minutes. Darcy's Corner. Peace.